Hello friends, this is Ponniyin Selvan, episode 2 of season 2. Last week's episode ended with Poongulali cackling spookily in the thick of the forest at night. Vandiyathevan shakily joined her and saw a fire demon howling in the wind. I'm sure you're wondering how the demon from Lord of the Rings is making a special appearance in Ponniyin Selvan. Same with our hero. He blinked and rubbed his eyes to make sure if he's seeing right. The area was known for brimstone accumulation, so tall flames broke out from the ground. And in olden days, people who didn't understand this natural phenomenon misconstrued them to be demons. It looked like a fiery, howling monster. Is she calling this her lover? She's positively mad. How do I trust her to sail me safely to Ceylon? What if there is a storm in the sea and she calls it her boyfriend? Or is she sleepwalking? Thought Vandiyathevan and tapped on her shoulders to wake her up. Poongulali? Poongulali. But she only started to sob. I hate men. I truly hate them all. I would rather be with these, said she. Vandiyathevan tried to console her. It looks like it might rain anytime now, and your lovers will die down soon. So let's get you back home, okay? They started walking back to the hut, and Poongulali, who was pretty calm now, asked, "What do you think the appearance of the shooting star in the sky means?" It means the star is going somewhere, answered Vandiyathevan jokingly. People say it means bad things may happen to the royal family, and I heard Sundaracholar is bedridden. Do you think something may happen to him? Asked Poongulali. All I know is the star isn't meeting the king that easily. The palace is heavily guarded, said Vandiyathevan matter-of-factly. If something happens to the king, who do you think will become the next king? Aditya Karikalar or Madurandagadevar? Wondered aloud Poongulali. Vandiyathevan stopped in his tracks and measured Poongulali keenly. You live in the edge of the land, but you seem to know everything that's happening in the midst of the palace. Why are you asking me if you already know everything? Anyway, that is why it's imperative that I cross the ocean soon to bring back medicine to save Sundarachola. Will you help me? Asked Vandiyathevan. A hunk like you. Aren't you ashamed you need the help of a little girl to cross the ocean? Asked Poongulali dryly. You, a little girl? Oh please, said Vandiyathevan, and they both laughed heartily. They retired to their separate huts to sleep the rest of the night away. The next morning, Vandiyathevan woke up to a clear sky and bright sun. He looked for Poongulali, but she was nowhere to be found. He decided to walk to the beach. He contemplated his fear of water, and given his awaiting journey, he decided that a quick dip in the shallow shores might help get over his fear. He took off his ropes, waist belt, and also Kundavai's letter to Arulmozhivarmar, laid them far away from the water, and walked into the water. He had to walk quite far into the sea for the water to come up to his waist. When he turned to check how far he had come, he spotted Poongulali around half a kilometer away from him. He cheerfully waved at her, but she picked his clothes and the letter from the shore. She turned away from him and started walking away with the letter. "Hey, stop! That's confidential! Give it back!" yelled Vandiyathevan and started running out of the water. He reached the shore with water splashing on every step. By then, Poongulali was already at the edge of the forest. Oh Lord, why do I have such bad luck when it comes to guarding letters? Prayed Vandiyathevan desperately running to catch Poongulali. Once he entered the forest, Poongulali was nowhere in sight. He looked this way and that way, not knowing what to do next, when all his stuff fell right in front of his feet with a thunk. He took them and made sure all his gold and the letters were safe. Then he looked up from where they fell down, and Poongulali was safely sitting in a tree branch. Crazy woman, why did you run away with my stuff? Asked Vandiyadevan, frustrated. To bring you here, said Poongulali. What is here? Asked he. And Poongulali said, why don't you see for yourself? So Vandiyadevan climbed onto the tree where she was sitting. From there, they could see Poongulali's house, and in front were several soldiers on horses. They were armed and wore Palvetariyar's palm tree emblem. They were Chinna Palvetariyar's men who have tracked him all the way to here. But how? Wondered Vandiyadevan. It was your friend, said Poongulali. Who? Blurted Vandiyadevan. The person who came with you. He is the one who gave you up, answered Poongulali, understanding the question in Vandiyadevan's face. In the morning, he was flirting with me. I played along and he was happy to tell me all about you. He said you are a spy and that you were wanted by the Palvetariyars. When he saw the soldiers arrive looking for you, he ran to them and brought them back to my house. That's when I decided to find you. She elaborated. But why did you say all this at the shore? Asked Vandiyadevan. I'm pretty sure there wasn't time to waste. Also, if I had told you, you would have tried to fight them, which wouldn't be a clever thing to do, said Poongulali and shrugged. God, this girl is as sharp as a knife. I must hang on to her. She is my ticket to Ceylon, thought Vandiyadevan, and said, now do you see? I have no one to trust but you. Can you please help me cross the ocean? If I agree, what will you give me in return? Asked Poongulali. Do me this favor, and I'll remain indebted to you, promised Vandiyadevan. Okay, agreed Poongulali, and they started walking into the forest. They reached an abandoned building in the forest. Since it was at a lower level than the ground and there was dense bushes growing around it, it was quite concealed from stray passers. Wow, how did you come up with this place? Asked Vandiyadevan, content. Oh, a leopard was roaming the forest, but nobody could find out its den. That's when I figured out this is where it was staying. After the leopard left, I started using it when I needed some alone time. Anyway, stay here till the night. I'll go back, make sure the soldiers have left, and then come back at night when no one is looking for us. I can't sneak you any food or water. But here, use this to guard yourself from any man or animal that tries to attack you, said Poongulali, and handed him the tailbone of what must have once been a large fish. What is this? Asked Vandiyadevan, measuring the weapon she gave him. Will it be strong enough? Asked he. Oh yes, remember the leopard I told you about? I killed him with this only, said Poongulali quite casually, while Vandiyadevan marvelled at her. At night, when it is safe, I will call like a cuckoo bird. You can come out then. Do not answer the calls of a real cuckoo bird and get caught, warned Poongulali, and left. It was easier than he imagined for Vandiyadevan to while away the time. He spent most of his day sleeping and the rest wondering about what Poongulali might ask in return for this favor. Sometimes he heard horses or passerby in the forest, but he remained silent. In the evening, he took a peek outside, and the scene before him was glorious. It's because the place where he is hiding now is in Kodiyakkarai. If you look in the map of Tamil Nadu, you will see that the shore looks like the outline of a man facing sideways. And on the very tip of the nose is Kodiyakarai, and that's where the hidden den is. The sea on both sides and the golden sun in the middle was a sight to die for. Vandiyathevan wanted to get out from there to appreciate the full beauty of the scenery, but he refrained and stayed in wait. By nightfall, he heard the calls of a cuckoo. He peeked out to make sure it was Poongulali, and indeed it was. They both hid from tree to tree to reach the shore. In the shore, Poongulali smoothly pushed her boat into the sea, making sure there was no splashing. Vandiyathevan decided to help, but Poongulali gestured not to. Once the boat was in deep enough waters, she signaled Vandiyathevan to hop onto the boat and followed him herself. With that begins Vandiyathevan's sea voyage and ends episode 2. Keen to hear more about Vandiyathevan and Poongulali's journey? Then stay tuned to Kadhatellaporom channel. Bye bye.